Well, hello there, beautiful rays of light. Thank you for joining me on the Hill Spot podcast. I am Nikei Salas, your host, spiritual guide, well-being educator, and all-around inspiration giver. This is about promoting healing. We want to promote healing so we can live better. When we are doing better, we are able to enjoy our lives. And how do we do this? We do this by positively affecting the different aspects of the self, whether that be mentally, physically, emotionally, and the spirit. The spirit loves that. It goes along for the ride. So make sure you subscribe so you can be notified of upcoming videos and life teachings. Thank you for joining me. Peace and blessings. So for today's podcast episode of The Hill Spot, we are talking about, are you living a lie? This goes for all of us, me included. And this is what I mean by this. When I talk about living a lie, it is going against who you truly are. And when we are going against who we truly are, it blocks us from becoming more of what we are meant to be, not only for ourselves but it's also for others. This is what I mean by this. I remember years ago, you all, when I was a child, I've always been a lover of reading and writing. I remember when I was elementary school, third grade, I would get books from the library. We would have these scholastic book fairs. I would ask for money to buy books, and some of the books I would just read over and over again. I remember we had a essay contest, and of course I submitted my essay, though I didn't really put intention as a child of winning the essay contest. I wanted that opportunity. It was the opportunity of being able to do what I loved, right, which was read a book or many books and write, create, which is a form of expression, right? And I submitted my essay, and from this, I I won, which I am grateful for. But again, just hold on with me. This is where I'm going with this. The principal came into the classroom, and this principal he had a presence of him. When students and teachers saw him, sometimes we were kind of shaking our shoes because he meant business. He came into the classroom and he talked to the teacher, and everybody was quiet because the principal was in the room. And he went on to talk to the teacher, and I saw the teacher look at me and point at me. The principal then comes over to me and he says to me, "Who wrote this essay?" The essay that I submitted for the contest. And I was like, "I did." And he just looked at me with this astonishment, surprise, but yet very baffled look. And after that, he didn't say nothing else. Didn't understand back then what that was all about. From that time, I've always wanted to be a writer. I always wanted to be a writer. I always wanted to do something that I know now was about creating. And when I read books, I go into another world, which is one of the reasons why I love them. I get to go on as to how the characters look. I go on to trying to figure out what was the message or the messaging in the book that the writer will write. And I would create my own movie. Even the books that had become movies, I would create it in my head. Fast forward to some years on down the line, and I remember sharing this dream, this way of being that I wanted so bad, desired deep down from within me. I shared this with some adults, and the adults was like, "Well, can't really make a job from that. What are you going to do to support yourself? What are you going to do for money?" And I was a child, right? And this not only happens when we are children, it happens when we are adults. This is nothing against these adults that I shared these dreams with, but that seeded in me, it impacted me to put that dream away, that way of being, and to find something that was quote unquote real. Though, to my dismay, back then, I did not really know that writers, authors, were sustaining themselves as being exactly that, being who they were meant to be, if that's what they were meant to be. But we're going to go on to that as well. So from that, I said to myself, okay, I got to find something real. I got to find something that is a job that's really going to sustain me. So all these books that I had made myself on in notebooks, I had piles of them, you all. I had so many that I had them in milk crates. I threw all of them in the garbage. And I said, I have to focus in on what I want. I want to say around 10 years old, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to be a nurse then. But deep down on the back of my mind, I would still get that writing, be a writer. Fast forward down the line through the different attempts of going to college, stopping due to different things, life situations, right? I finally finished college later on, some decades down the line, right? But yet still, writing was still calling me. Always still remained to be a lover of reading books, reading stories, really what it was, learning, allowing my mind to express and create from other people's stories. I become a nurse, loved it, but again, I had to just be honest with myself. And when I wrote my first book, Black Girl Gone Guru, it was a test to myself. Like I said earlier, years ago when I was in the third grade, when I did the essay contest, I feel like that was a challenge for me. Writing the first book was to challenge me into question, which was to bring out the answer of, Nikki, who are you? Or are you ready to be who you are meant to be? So Black Girl Gone Guru is brief, right? A brief book of some of my life situations and how I overcame them. It is meant to inspire people, but it's also part of the healing for me, which is as well as this podcast and the different things that I do, because it continues on, right? The things that we go through, we are meant to be better from. And if we allow ourselves, you all, to be open to how we can be better. It is, even healing from a cut to the hand or so forth. It is allowing the skin, the body to put the scab and all these different things, do these different processes to heal that wound, but it's challenging it to be better. Like, what can I do as far as the different ways I am living, whether it be the different foods I'm eating, the different things I'm doing to heal that wound. That's the same thing that we are going through in our life. We are going through these different life experiences to challenge us. It's all part of the healing process. And as we heal, as we become better, we are able to be better for others. So fast forward, I become a nurse, and then I wrote the first book, Black Girl Gone Guru, and then the second one, he poisoned me and left me for dead. And again, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to challenge myself to go away from biography writing, though everything is part of it, can be considered biographical, because it is pieces of us. Whether it is a beautiful story written by Toni Morrison or Paulo Coelho, it can be considered a storytelling by the basis of their characters, but it's still a part of them, right? And it opened me up to the knowing of who I was meant to be. Not only a writer, not only an author, but a creator, which we all are. In some form of fashion, we are meant, we are creating. We are creating with our words, we are creating with our hands, we are creating with our thoughts. And the more we are doing the opposite, not being who we are meant to be, it blocks us from expressing ourselves and not allowing us to create. Again, not only beautiful works of art, not only, it doesn't only have to be a book, it doesn't have to be a painting, it could be anything that you have designed from your mind and brought forth into the physical realm. That is creation. And again, that is in different ways. Writing, whether you are making a shelves, a bookcase, whether anything that you are doing to express yourself is being an artistry, right? So I say all of this to say that I want you to be able to create. And how do we do this? We do this by being honest with ourselves. We we talk often of living in our truth, but we got to ask ourselves, are we really? Are we really living in our truth? I mean, have that sit down, honest conversation with you and say, whether it be about a job, whether it be about a situation, whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself, does this align with the best of me? Because you know that's what the mantra is over here, right? Do what is best for your soul. And that does promote, it does bring out, it helps us to be well. Because if we are in a disagreement or disalignment of what we truly are, the body takes that on, it feels it. It is the same of when a lie detector test is being done. How are they able to know if that person is being not dishonest? Because of the vital signs. They look on this machine and they see an elevated heart rate. They may even watch a person start to sweat and so forth. That's because the body is saying, it is expressing itself that, hey, we're not being honest here. Deep down, that truth is still there. And because a person is not being honest, it creates stress, right? It creates disease, not being at peace, which is exactly what that is. It is being in a non-harmonious state. And that is the total opposite of being in well-being. So again, when I was working as a nurse, I wrote my first book, Black Girl Gone Guru. Then I stopped working as a nurse. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this full force. But then I would question myself and say, well, hey, I put all this time and effort in going to school, so maybe I should give it a try again. And I did. But still, I had a very unsettling feeling that was not, it was part of my life. I still believe it was part of my life, but it was again to challenge me and test me at the very being of who I am. Saying, hey, Nikki, you tried that. Just like going to a buffet or to a restaurant. You might try something new to increase your um, not only knowledge of food and what's available out there, but it's also to let you know what you like. And that's okay, because we're not meant to like everything. The dislikes brings us more into the light, right? It brings us more into practicing the things that bring us joy, that allows us to be in peace. So when we are living, or I should say existing, because how can we truly live if we are consistently cycling out to the world, to the universe, that I am not living truly in my truth? Not just us telling people, but us being it first, right? Because who else, how can we better exhibit honesty but from ourselves first? And that's how we're able to be more honest with others. That's how we are able to accept honesty from other people, even if we don't like it, but still respect that person is saying and doing what's best for them, just like we want that for ourselves. So I want you to question yourself in your own quiet time. Am I living? Am I existing, or am I living? Existing is just going through the rotations. We are not consciously making decisions for what is best for our lives. I give you another example. This is like Jane Doe saying that she wants to be a lawyer. Not to say nothing is wrong with lawyers, but deep down, she wants to be a landscaper. But she works, she does this job of being a lawyer, but frustrated consistently. And then I say consistently over just here and there having a frustration, because we're not going to like different things that we go through every single day, right? Even in our life's work. So even with my life work now being more into writing, more into well-being education, more into inspiration giving, I am more in creative mode. Sometimes I don't like it, but it's not consistent. So if Jane Doe is consistently being in this job that is not aligning with who she is, it is creating more stress in her, which is blocking her, distracting her from listening to the essence of who her, what is true of her being, the seed of her being, her spirit. And when we are blocking the spirit from talking to us, which is our inner God guidance, right? To tell us, because it always wants the best for us, even if we don't want to hear it. But saying, like with me, Nikki, now you know it's time for you to stop doing this nursing, which is what my spirit was telling me. But when I went back to it, after taking a 3-year break, I was like, well, hey, I put all this time and effort and money into school. I should do it. And I was going through these situations, still was loving the meeting new people, and I'm grateful for the lessons that was given to me and the experiences. But it was so far from where I was supposed to be. And that dislike was to bring me back to my light, to my love of writing, of being in creation mode. You know, there is this title or this of what we hear now, right? Of content creator, which is beautiful that people are being able to make videos, posts, and different things that they love. That's what I'm claiming, that they're doing what they love. But we all are creators. We are all meant to create. We are all meant to express ourselves. We are all meant to be examples of who we are by doing what we love. And when we are more so again doing that, we are creating harmony of the spirit, the self, spirit, mind, body, and the emotions. We are exhibiting better emotions, emotions of joy, happiness, and peace. Ooh, come on now, peace. Oh, that just every time I think about it, and I say it now, because I did have understanding of really what that meant some time ago. But now I understand it. I look for it, I yearn for it, and that is by me listening to who I am, me being who I am, so I can have well-being. So again, in your own quiet time, when you are going through different situations, or even if you want to question yourself about your job or position in life, whatever that might look like, ask yourself, say it out loud. Is this the best for me? Because if it's not, then it is creating again a discord. And a lot of times we are frustrated, we are angry, we are sad because we are not in alignment with our soul. We are not being in the best way for us to live. All right, that's all for today. I thank you all for joining me on the Hill Spot podcast. If you have not already, please subscribe and feel so free. Feel so free to share this with others that you love so they can be well as well. If you have not already, sign up to my monthly newsletter. It's the Let's Live Better monthly newsletter, and I'm going to leave a link below to find the other ways you can join me, not follow me, but join me in different ways of how I inspire and my well-being teachings. Until the next time, peace and blessings. Nikei Salas.